Howdy, y'all. It's Curious Raven on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Today we have 7 paranormal, true spooky stories. Number 1. To give some context before I begin this story, I'm your average teenage high schooler. No one else in my family can see the ghost or feel their presence, but I have told them my experiences. Okay, so let's begin. As this has been going on for a while, it first started as just playing around to see if paranormal stuff would happen, as I am an avid watcher of the paranormal. The first sign that something was in my house was a whisper in my ear when I was home alone. Then a few weeks later, it was something in my doorway at nighttime. Fast forward 3 months, I was just in my bed and right next to me, there were pages turning in a book, but there was no book. A few days after that, a knife fell off the counter when no one was in the kitchen for hours. Fast forward 2 nights ago, on September 4th, I woke up around 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. to the sense of being in danger, and I was being watched. I sat silently up in my bed and opened my eyes. I didn't expect anything, as nothing had gone on since before the summertime. But there was a dark shadow with some sort of red, like clothing, with something on its torso, looming over my bed. The area where it had been standing is only purple and black door, so I know that something was there. I couldn't move, and I watched as it phased through my door. As I am writing this, I am very scared that my family and I may be in danger. If someone knows what I can do to ward off the spirits, it would be much obliged. Number 2. This only started happening 2 days ago, but I'm searching for answers that nobody can answer, so I'm reaching out to Reddit to hopefully find some answers. So 2 mornings ago, I woke up just fine, sat up in my bed, and then closed my eyes again for about 30 seconds. When I opened them, I saw an all-black silhouette of a small girl, with a haircut almost like Dora the Explorer standing right in front of my bed. I blinked, and then she was gone. This spooked me because a few months prior, I saw a brownish shadow figure standing behind my manager at work. Ever since then, I haven't slept in the dark. This spooked me so much that last night, I had to sleep with the Family Guy on to distract me. So, fast forward to this morning. I woke up, sat up again, and closed my eyes for only 5 seconds because I was scared. This time, there was a long, tall, shadowy figure standing where the little girl was, and it once again went away after I blinked. So I'm stuck between if I'm actually seeing ghosts or if I'm developing schizophrenia. I have more than one reason to believe this, since I am in my early 20s. But I have also experienced pure terror randomly while trying to sleep because I can suddenly sense a ghost or hear shit moving around my room. I am so confused, and answers will help. Number 3. This 100% happened to me, and in fact I have some other stories I may post. I guess I'm what you call a sensitive. Some years ago, I was at a biker party. My dad is in a Marine Corps biker clubs. Think big, burly man with beards and leather vest, drinking beer and barbecuing. Anyway, every person is dressed that way. T-shirt, leather vest, blue jeans, and boots. This house was somewhat around Pensacola, Florida. It was deep in the woods around a creek. Since we were outside, I asked where the restroom is. The wife of the biker who owns the home tells me, and I go alone upstairs where not a soul was. I turned to go into the bathroom, and this I'll never forget. A tall man with black slicked hair, white button-up dress shirt, black slacks, and dress shoes was leaning over the sink and looking into the mirror. Totally solid, not moving at all, and looked like a living human. I thought he was dressed so strange for the party, but I ended up not using the restroom because he was in there. I go back to the lady that told me where the restroom is, and I said, "Who is the man in the bathroom?" I described him, and her eyes went huge, and she looked spooked. She then told me the principal of a school lived and died in that home, and I described him accurately. She told a lot of people around us. It was remarkable at the time. I did not go back up the stairs alone after that. The only solid apparition I have ever seen. Number 4. My mom had me young, 15. So while I was still a baby, we lived with my grandmother in her cottage home in a smallish town called Wasaga Beach in Ontario, Canada. It was a cute blue 2-story cottage with a big forest out back. A little after the time I was born in 1996, my grandmother had become estranged from her father, but he kept saying how badly he wanted to meet me. He died shortly after. One of the earliest memories was laying in bed with my grandma, having a nightmare and waking up, and her going to get a glass of milk. The room was dimly lit, but I could still make out everything in the room. However, in the dark doorway, I saw a tall, almost translucent figure standing there. It wasn't moving. It didn't have any identifying features. It was just there, like it was staring at me. When my grandma returned with my milk, it vanished. When I got older, I told my mom and grandma about this encounter. My mom told me that when I was still a baby, we were in the basement, and I was in my swing chair. She was sitting on the couch. She said everything happened all in one moment. The dog started barking, a VHS tape that was enclosed in a click-lock glass case opened and flew across the room, and I started crying. My mom was nowhere near the VHS tape, and the glass cabinet couldn't open on its own. My grandma shared that once I was old enough to talk, she was bathing me in the bathroom, and I asked her who the man standing behind her was. She turned, and there was nobody there, but I was laser focused on him. Anyways, we all think it was my estranged great-grandfather. He didn't do anything malicious, he just wanted to make his presence known and to meet me. After these incidents, nothing out of the ordinary happened. Anyone can remember. Although, when I went back to visit in the summers growing up, I can distinctively hear footsteps in the middle of the night walking around when nobody else was awake. Number 5. So I live with my girlfriend. Recently spent 4.5 days in the hospital due to a kidney stone blocking my kidney from draining. They put a colostomy bag in until I can get the stone removed. Due to having this bag, and the roof sticks out of me, so I've been sleeping on the couch since I got home. Well, a few days after I got home, one morning my girlfriend was getting ready for work. She was getting dressed, and from the bathroom door, you can see the couch lengthwise, so she can clearly see me asleep. She tells me out of the corner of her eye she thinks she saw someone standing by the couch. When she looked, she only saw me laying there asleep. Shortly after turning her head back, she again gets a peripheral image of someone standing up, so she thought I'd gotten up, so she turned to talk to me. And it was a shadowish figure. She thought it was an older man. She said she didn't feel anything negative or bad coming from it, but it basically faded into the dark background. I believe in ghosts, etc., but I don't just jump to conclusions. So I did ask her how you're certain you saw something standing over me. Weren't you half asleep still? She replied, no, she was wide awake. She just finished showering before this. I know it isn't the dark playing tricks on her eyes. She turns the light on, and in the room, she's getting clothes, and I usually fall asleep with the TV on, so it's not pitch black in the living room. She definitely seems dead certain she saw what she saw. So far, this has only occurred once. I've never experienced anything direct or couldn't be explained, like being in the back bathroom and hearing what sounds like someone entering the front of the house, etc. Number 6. I've been living in my current house for almost 3 years. 2 of those with my current girlfriend. It's a 4-story, 2-townhouse built in the late 70s. Since about a half a year, we have been having weird things happening here, some of which we don't have a rational explanation for. It first started in the summer of 2022, when the 12-year-old daughter of friends was staying with us. She and my girlfriend wanted to watch a horror movie. I think the movie my girlfriend chose was way too scary for a young kid. After the movies, we went to bed, and after a few moments laying down, still awake, we heard knocking on our bedroom door. Since we just assumed that it was the girl scared of the movie she watched, my girlfriend went to open the bedroom door. But there was nobody there, and the girl was asleep in her bed. The door knocking has happened a few more times, always roughly between midnight and 1 a.m. I have texted the neighbors several times to see if it was possible that they made the noise, but they claimed to be asleep at that hour. Plus, there was a really distinctive knock on the door sound coming from close by. We have been joking about the house being haunted and named it Casper. Usually, we talk jokingly about it, but whenever we hear the knock in the middle of the night, we take it more seriously. Although I don't think we have heard any knocking since at least half a year. Somewhere last year, I think early October, my girlfriend's sister was staying with us, and one morning she said she heard a female voice say Katharina in the middle of the night, the name of their grandmother. We hadn't told her yet about our ghost story theory. Last summer, when I came home, I walked towards my house, and I noticed my girlfriend's sister walking towards the front door and going in. I didn't know she was visiting us that day. When I came in and dropped my stuff off, my girlfriend and her sister came home from the supermarket less than 1 minute later. She hadn't entered before me, yet she was wearing the same clothes I had seen her wear when I saw her enter the house. This evening, I was taking a shower. I heard noises outside the room. I assumed it was my girlfriend. I asked if she wanted to watch a movie with me later. She answered yes. Next I said, I love you. And she answered, amor mio, in Spanish, as she usually does. She is Latin. As I walked out of the bedroom, I checked if she was in the bedroom, and she wasn't. I also checked the other rooms on the same floor. She wasn't there. I went downstairs, and she was sitting at the dining table. I asked her if she was upstairs. She said no. I asked if she heard me from downstairs. She didn't know what I was talking about. She wasn't the one answering back to me. I really don't know what to make of this shit. I'm not religious or superstitious, and neither is my girlfriend. A year ago, I already considered contacting paranormal investigators, but I ended up not doing it due to skepticism from my side. Right now, I'm again considering to contact them. But I really wonder, what value do they add? They are a team of amateurs. There doesn't seem to be any science behind it. Suppose they do say they see a ghost in my house. How serious should I take that, and what do I do with the information? Preferably, I would like to speak to a research team connected to a university or something like that, but I don't think there is any serious scientific research to this topic, probably because ghosts aren't real, and there should be a logical explanation for all of this bullshit. But 2 things cannot be irrationally explained to me. A, the knocking is something both me and my girlfriend heard at the same time, so that wasn't in our hands. And B, How can it be that her sister was actually wearing the same clothes I just saw her in if I hadn't seen her before that day and I didn't even know she was here? Anyone got any advice or credible institutions to try to study paranormal phenomenon from a real scientific point of view, preferably linked to a credible university, or any other advice regarding our experience? Number 7. A year or so, I have graduated high school. I moved into an old courtyard style U-shaped apartment building. Over 100 years old, the entire basement level was sunk underground with about 5 feet to crawl through. Across the street was a giant cemetery. Outside my kitchen window, across the street, were gravestones. One day, by myself, I am rummaging through a drawer in my room looking for quarters. I was thinking, I just need another quarter, when I felt something small and light weight hit me on my back. I turned around and I saw it was a dime. Something had thrown this at me while alone and intently thinking I need change. Honestly, I couldn't explain it and it freaked me out. Other than the place being creepy, that was my only paranormal experience there. It was a cool story for a few years until I woke up one morning and noticed change stuck to my shirtless back. Clearly, I slept on change. I immediately realized that's what's happened a few years earlier. I made sure to tell everyone I ever told that story the revelation. I had some unexplainable things in my life, I guess, but this is my favorite personal ghost story. I had to laugh at my silly ass. Anyway, there might be a lesson in there. Alright, well, I feel like some of these stories were lighthearted and kind of funny and cute. The last story, I think, maybe some ancestors or some people that passed away, or even a funny ghost, was trying to help you get the change that you needed. I mean, it took a couple years, but hey, but it doesn't seem malicious or anything. And I love y'all so much, but that's the end of the story. So I will probably see y'all on Thursday. And until then, remember, it's scary out there. Please like and subscribe.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross